In the shadowy realms of human emotions, there exists a force so powerful, so corrosive, that it has the potential to drive individuals to the darkest corners of their souls. Jealousy, a timeless and universal emotion, has been the silent catalyst behind countless tales of obsession, betrayal, and crime. Gerardo Cruz was born in February 1975 in Costa Rica, and his early family background is relatively unknown. He spent his youth in Cuba, where he shared a home with his mother, Samodi Fonsek. His childhood was buried in secrecy, but even as a boy, he had a complicated and tormented personality. He couldn't stand rejection, therefore he often used force and dishonesty to get his way. Gerardo Fonsek worked as a Barbie model at a renowned bookshop owned by Universal for numerous years due to his doll-like looks. During this period, she earned the nickname Barbie, which lasted with her for the rest of her life. Samodi had a major connection with a prominent local television journalist called Osvaldo Fernando Baleri after graduating from high school. Theirs was the longest-lasting and meaningful relationship she had ever had. They had 2 children together, Christopher and Christina, but their tumultuous marriage couldn't resist Samodi's jealousy and aggressiveness. Baleri, 53, died unexpectedly in 2012, and it was found that he had left nothing in his will for Samodi. She couldn't stand it any longer and took things into her own hands, taking Baleri's home and changing the locks to keep his family and heirs away. She even took some of the deceased's prized possessions. Baleri's family was naturally upset, and they brought the case to court to punish Samodi for stealing. Despite the fact that the police compelled her to leave the residence, no criminal charges were brought against her. Samodi's amorous past was riddled with squabbles. One such connection was with Miguel Angel Perez, the father of her 3rd child, Maria. Samodi and Perez may or may not have been legally married, but they divorced. She did, however, give their youngest daughter the surname Perez without his permission. It's worth mentioning that several of Samodi's partners inexplicably vanished or died in unfortunate circumstances. However, no one paid any attention to these occurrences for a long period. One of her partners, for example, departed immediately after choosing to break his connection with her. He is still missing to this day, and many suspect Samodi's participation. Yet real proof of her culpability is hard. Diaco, another previous lover, unfortunately died after divorcing from Samodi. His death looked to be the result of a botched robbery, and his assailants were never apprehended. While there were rumors that Samodi was involved in the murder, real proof against her remained elusive. Gerardo Cruz, however, was Samodi's most famous victim. Cruz, who was born in San Jose, Costa Rica, in December 1992, came from a troubled household. His original father was not there, and his mother, Ana Patricia, married Hermes Rodriguez, who adopted and reared Gerardo as his own. Cruz and his fiancée, Carol, had a kid together and finally lived in the San Sebastian suburbs. Gerardo met Samodi while working at a neighborhood bakery in the summer of 2015. Gerardo fell for the lovely older lady, despite the big age difference. For a while, their romance was kept private, but Samodi's frequent trips to the bakery generated suspicions among the staff. Gerardo's demise came when he started bragging to friends and coworkers about his connection with Samodi, which finally reached his mother's ears. She questioned him about the affair and the threats made by Samodi, but Gerardo dismissed the warnings. When Samodi realized Gerardo had a pregnant wife and a small daughter, their romance ended suddenly in October 2015. She was enraged and angry, and she released a volley of threats on Carol, threatening to murder Gerardo if he didn't belong to her alone. Gerardo innocently assumed that Samodi would ultimately calm down and move on. He had no idea she was so cunning and vicious. Gerardo was an unwitting witness to a horrific occurrence a few days following their split. While strolling along a downtown street, he saw an older guy taking indecent photos of a young girl without her knowledge. Outraged, Gerardo approached the guy, notified the girl, and recommended her to file a police complaint. He then began photographing the victim in order to publicly humiliate him. Gerardo's video of the event went viral, resulting in public indignation. Former government official Luis Solmano Delgado was named as the man. Gerardo and Delgado went to court over the video, accusing him of breaching the law by spreading it. Gerardo maintained his firm attitude, certain that he was correct. On October 7th, Gerardo got a message from Samodi inviting him to an interview at a park. He agreed, naively believing he was going to be interviewed. He went to the agreed-upon spot after ending his shift, only to be attacked by two unknown individuals who thrashed him, stabbed him many times, and escaped. He managed to phone a friend and report the incident just before losing consciousness. Gerardo was brought to the hospital thanks to his friend's rapid action, where he struggled for his life for 42 days until succumbing to his injuries on November 19th. Given his recent renown as a local hero who revealed a government official's terrible conduct, news of Gerardo's assault and subsequent death captivated the country. People urged that justice be served for his heinous murder. Initially, there were two primary interpretations concerning Gerardo's motive: robbery or vengeance. His intruders grabbed his backpack and jacket, giving the appearance of a robbery, but a recent viral video of a government official's misbehavior pointed at a vengeance plan. The police investigation was initially stalled, but in May 2016, they discovered important evidence in the form of surveillance film showing two individuals leaving the site of Gerardo's assault. This video was crucial in moving the case forward. The police also issued crude drawings and anthropometric data to aid in the identification of the attackers. When one of the individuals surrendered to authorities and helped with the inquiry, his name was quickly revealed. His assistance led to the arrest of numerous additional suspects, including the masterminds of the assault, Samodi and her daughter, Christina. Samodi had painstakingly planned the crime, and Christina had been intimately engaged in its execution. Other people detained were Ronald Archie, a taxi driver who tracked down the perpetrators after the incident, Cesar Chavez, who functioned as a mediator, and a young minor who was directly involved in the attack. Omar Costa, who had been following Gerardo's activities on the day of the incident, was captured as well. The cops uncovered the plan via phone call records and text messages. The murder had been planned by Samodi, who had sought the assistance of Ronald and Cesar to hire hitmen for the assignment. They wanted it to seem like a bungled heist in a park late at night. After the murder, Samodi asked that anything from Gerardo's things be handed to her as evidence. The underlying motivation for this horrible act was Samodi's wish to completely possess Gerardo. The texts that detailed the murder plot and the roles of all the participants were critical evidence against her. She was so certain of her innocence that she didn't bother deleting them. The trial began in January 2018, and the investigation took nearly a year and a half to complete. In the end, Samodi was sentenced to 30 years in jail, while her daughter, Christina, Ronald, and Cesar got 25-year terms. Omar was acquitted, but the two minor participants were transferred to a juvenile jail camp. The victim's family was awarded $140,000 in moral damages. The trial revealed Samodi's prior run-ins with the law, including a conviction for falsifying paperwork in order to get government benefits. She had also fraudulently blamed her youngest child on a previous boyfriend, Miguel Angel Perez, who had been duped into paying alimony. Samodi's deception resulted in a 3-year jail sentence and a large fine, albeit the penalty was reduced to a suspended 5-year term. In November 2019, an appeal to the sentences resulted in a 5-year sentence reduction for each participant. Samodi is presently serving a 25-year term at a Costa Rican women's jail. She married Lindsay Diaz-Lopes, a fellow convict who had been released on parole, in jail in the summer of 2020. Thank you so much for joining us today for this captivating journey. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.